Papers, Please has been tugged to hell and back over the years. You must likely know what it has to offer, but I will give you a short explanation. Papers, Please is a small indie game made by Lucas Pope, released in 2013, which quickly became a widespread game. You play as a border inspector in the fictional country of Arstotzka, who's trying to serve his country proudly. Will you deny this woman with the wrong papers from entry, even though you let her husband pass without a problem? Will you let Elisa enter, even though she only has a passport? I get that she has no one in Kolechia, but she really couldn't have at least acquired the right papers? Can't be too expensive. Then again, both of these countries just emerged from a 6-year war. Anyways, you are also frequently visited by the members of a clan called the Order of the Ezek Star. They wish to destabilize the country through a revolution, and apparently a single border inspector is enough to achieve that. Rinse and repeat for the next 30 days and you have Papers, Please. Well then, what is the appeal of Papers, Please? Well, there's a couple of reasons. I think they are the atmosphere that the game establishes, the simple yet constantly developing gameplay, and the ability to play the game however you choose. First off, the atmosphere. It's bleak and dystopian. It perfectly depicts the sad life in a poor authoritarian state. The graphics are bland. The border is clearly run down despite being established not too long before the events of the game. The people you encounter look miserable, sad, and kinda annoyed with having to get all that paperwork just to pass your checkpoint. The sheer length of the line also adds a certain level of stress to you and to the people in the line. The audio is, well, there isn't any. The only things you hear during the gameplay are the ambient noises of the city and the people talking to you. The mundane noise is occasionally broken by the loud announcement for the next person and the theme music between days. All of these factors make it much more special when something outside of that mundaneness happens, whether it be Jory Kostava trying to smuggle drugs again, the guard giving you your daily bonus, or the inspector checking in on your progress. Without these factors, the game would just be too boring. Which brings me to my next segment, the gameplay. The gameplay is to me a work of art. It's repetitive, but it's not boring. Contrary to common misconception, repetitive does not necessarily equal boring. A game can have a repetitive gameplay loop and still be fun, which is the thing Papers, Please does perfectly. Every day you obtain some new information, either that you have to capture a murderer that fled this country, or from the ministry admission that has given you necessary paperwork. Then you check their entry tickets, then entry permits, work permits, ID cards, certificate of vaccinations, and so forth. Each time the game introduces a new level of challenge to the player, and he must adapt to figure out how to analyze the papers in the most efficient way possible. Stuff like this is what makes the game both fun for the player and realistic in the game's universe, because you are the inspector. You feel like you are doing your job and making glory greatest proud, or Ezek. I don't judge. By the end of the game, you feel like you have really learned how to be an efficient inspector, and if you went with the objectively correct ending, you get to unlock the game mode that lasts until you make a mistake. This challenge is more addicting than heroin to a fast perfectionist like me. I would spend a fair amount of time just chilling and denying a bunch of people because their work visas are 1 millisecond out of date. Now the game, with only these two factors, is an excellent and praiseworthy game, but it doesn't stop there. There is still one more part. Lucas Pope made the really smart choice to give the game 20 unique endings. This directly gives you the ability to play the game however you want. Do you want to stay loyal to Glory Greatest? You can do that. Do you want to help Ezek establish a new order? Well, be my guest. Do you want to escape with your son and mother-in-law to Oberstan whilst leaving the rest of your family to die just because you couldn't stop getting all those citations? You can do that. There's just so many options, I can't get enough of them. Do you want to starve your whole family? You can do that. Do you want to start murdering innocent civilians? You can do that, but you will get sentenced to death immediately. There is no true way to beat the game. Well, I guess ending 20 is the correct one because it gives you the code to unlock all the fun game modes, but any ending you get is a result of your actions. The game doesn't force them upon you. Definitely not the murdering part, that one is all you. The ultimate goal is to finish the game. It is up to you how you will pass that game.